Hey guys, what's up? Really good plan for today, I believe. My execution wasn't what I would like for it to be in the future, but if I can take positives away from just these last few days while we've had this big market correction, and we call it big, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's a blip, right? And if history repeats itself, we're going to test highs and maybe we have another drop down and we'll consolidate and then we'll push to all-time highs again. I mean, that's what history says we're going to do. So until we see otherwise, then, you know, why not? Um, but I'm proud of myself for these past few days, not really getting stuck in many grinds or anything like that. I've been really patient. I've been watching the SPY and I've been watching other stocks like Facebook, Apple, AMD in correlation with the SPY. And there were definitely some signs this morning that we were finally getting out of this range. You know, we're kind of just holding. If I'm just going to quickly look at this, we're kind of holding these type of areas, and we're consolidating. Look, um, you can move this up here once we found a little base, and until you break out of this consolidation, you can expect to get chopped up. Um, you can channel trade this short tops, buy bottoms until it doesn't work anymore, but I don't do that. I mean, maybe in the future I will, but regardless, today's started out really slow. It looked like we were going to reject some of these higher areas, and we didn't. We stayed up and we started not ripping, but it was kind of a slow grind up. Uh, every pullback, we didn't have many of them today, but every pullback got bought up, and a lot of stocks are gapping up now. But positives, I stayed out of the chop during these days. Negatives, things I would like to work on in the future when these situations present themselves again, is realizing that when you have this much consolidation, the expansion of this consolidation is going to be pretty good. Like you can expect to move bigger than what you could anticipate. So um, today, I AMD was a main focus of mine, and really I was looking at these 2660s area because it's been kind of consolidating in these ranges. You can see we're losing it down there, and I really wasn't interested in anything else unless we maybe got under here, and then you could look for maybe some downside. But um, I let the morning play out. I let it kind of chop around and find a base. I think if I was a little more aggressive, I could have used this 5-minute low on higher volume. And once we dipped under and reclaimed, this was a common theme across the board. Apple, I missed a signal as well. Um, once we reclaimed here, the bidder was there. He wasn't going anywhere, and then just the offer swipe started. And I got long once we got over some of these levels, 2660s, took some off and just started peeling off all the way up. And I was really looking at um, these areas to take the rest off, and through here. Um, like that was kind of my like nice little over under spot. This was support, then it's resistance. So that's kind of what I was looking at. And you can see my final sells were there too. And I think the logic was good there. It was a great trade. I just wish I could improve it. And if we look at some of these larger time frame charts, there was no reason to sell all day. Um, you know, it just I'd like to improve that. I'd like to pay attention to these and just let some ride until we essentially break trend, and we did not. This was a nice little consolidation. Once we got above this level, it was off to the races, and now we're gapping up huge. So maybe tomorrow we get a nice parabolic into 30s, um, something like that. I think there's a high volume area that'll be of interest. Yeah, this one right here tomorrow. That's what I'll be looking at tomorrow. Maybe some crazy shove into there, and then we can look for maybe a short-term scalp short. So I actually took a few scalps short in through here too on some what I saw as little trend breaks and quickly covered. And I'm glad I did because it went higher. CGC, this was one where I kind of goofed up the pot. Stocks had a nice run, and then I started looking at these areas because we got over and failed, and then we stuffed, and it looked like we were going to put in, a lower high, and maybe roll back over. And I took some. It was starter size, and then I cut it pretty quickly when I realized I was wrong. But if I stick to what I do, which is these higher volume areas, this was the spot that mattered more. And I just didn't execute well, but I did flip my bias long here on a little trend break, and I got long and sold into those areas. So that was a good bias switch. But in the future, I don't believe I should be short here. I think the right thing to do is wait for this all day trend break, and then you can look for pops. So I'd like to work on that. My focus was pretty scattered today. I, you know, I was trying to do too much, and really, if I just would have focused on just AMD or just Apple um, or Facebook, it could have been a really massive day. This was another, I just wanted, while we're on the topic, this was another one of those areas that you could see even all day. Like you could use that low, or you could use this right in through here, and you could see how it's resistance, it's support, it's support. We flushed under trapped shorts, and then once we reclaimed these areas, my um my 5 minute right there, once we reclaimed this, they were scooping up dips on it, and then you can, you know, get long on the flag break right in through here with risk on this low. So that's what I like to do because after that you don't have to set up. There were no dips back to VWAP to get long again. You were probably chasing, or maybe this was another nice little area once we held, but at that point you're up, in my opinion, so high that you can't really chase. So it was a tough day to get long and catch some of these, but IGC was one where anticipated this break because of SSR, and I was really just risking um, like these areas. I actually don't know why I didn't get stopped out here. I probably should have, because I believe I was risking in through these levels right there. And I covered quickly, and that was a nice little trade. I expected more fade in the day, and that didn't come. But and then the other one that was good. Oh man, ears should have been a monster. This was a $3,000 trade today, but I could not get a my short locate was just down. I was trying to short locate, and it just kept saying inquiring, and I couldn't get my shares. And I should have had them in the morning, but I didn't know which way I wanted my bias to be honest with you. And if you look at this right in through here, there were two things, and I was watching this thing like a hawk too. I mean, right in through there. So we're stuffing all of these areas. And I'll go back to the 5 minute. Uh, high volume bar right here, 174, and then also yesterday there was this high volume low, and that's where I was watching. So once we kind of got out of there, and also this little break in through here, you could risk all day on, right here, 171, hit the bid, and look at this fade. You take 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, and that's a quick payday. You're in the money instantly. I tried to do something late day that was similar, and I didn't have the same results because the majority of the move was already there, and I took my covers on the wash and then stopped out the rest. So that was pretty much it today. AMRN, I had a little loss there. It was a trade I shouldn't have taken, to be honest with you, because once again, if you look at the all-day trend, um, I was early. You know, I started right here on the break, I guess. But what I like to do is see this stuff and it failed to regain trend, and then put in a lower high. And this would have been a nice little spot to take some off, but I was really looking for a bigger move. I was looking for something closer to like back down here into the 70s, and we didn't get it. So I lost here, and then here I stopped out pretty much break even. So just a small blip when it comes down to it. But this type of signal works a lot better um, when you're not over VWAP all day. Like here, we were under over. This was a long trap right here, and then it was a sick fade. AMRN was just, pretty holding pretty strong today. So this is a tricky one. Um, and then I think that was it. Kron, oh yeah, this morning I did some dip buys, some scalps based off of high volume areas of interest right in through here, the 1160s, and then there was 1120s area. I forget from when exactly, but there was something in there. It might have been the daily, but I just recall looking at some of those areas. That might have been at the 1130s. So that's where I was looking. We were pretty extended down here in the morning, and we actually got the move I was looking for. And if I was patient, I think kind of like I was talking about with AMD, how this right here is just, a channel. We're just channeling it through here, trying to figure out what we're doing. But once we reclaimed that 1130s area and it became support, and then even the 1160s, which was more important to me, um, you know, maybe you don't get long here, but you wait for a dip and get long risk on this area, smaller size, and then you get some nice little pops. But this was overall a nice little winner. I got a nice long right here on the washout, but this thing was so beat. This isn't something I like to do much of anymore. I used to do it a lot more, but you just don't know when these are going to end, really. But we did snap back and test some of these areas and through here. So this was a longer one because there was a lot to talk about today. But tomorrow the goal is going to be to narrow down my list more, not have so many tickers in front of me, and really focus on execution on just a few names rather than having my focus spread all over the place. So we'll see if I can achieve that. Hope everyone had a great day. Tomorrow I'm really looking for either a gap up parabolic on AMD. It'll only be day two, so I'm not looking for anything more than just a scalp, and either that or a weak open would be a lot better, a gap down into some of these areas and build a game plan from there. So hope everyone did well. I'll see you all tomorrow.